Hey girl, welcome back to my channel. We've got a very cozy setup today. I love filming sit down videos and I don't do it enough. So today I thought I would talk you through my top 5 tips to becoming your best self. Not as somebody who's completely got their life together, because trust me, I have not. But as somebody who strives every day just to be their best and also just to get the most out of my life and feel like I'm becoming the person that I want to be. So I have got some notes on my phone, but I also just want to say that this video can be for literally anyone, no matter what point you are in your life. I was a bit skeptical of sharing these tips because obviously I'm not necessarily where I want to be, but I've come a long way with my mental health and my mindset and my confidence. So I feel like I've got the credentials right now, just with how I try and live my life, to be sharing this video. But like I said, I'm definitely not where I want to be, and by no means have I got my life together. I feel like no one ever feels like they've got their shit together, really. I mean, I could be wrong, but tell me if you do feel like you've got your shit together, because I'd love to meet you. But yeah, I do definitely think that to feel like you're your best self, you think you've got to be at like the end point or the destination that you're striving for, or like living your dream life. I just want to flip it and remind you that you can feel like your best self while you're working towards that dream life, or while you're just getting up every day and doing your normal day job, or just doing your best. You can kind of get more out of your days and romanticize life and believe in yourself that little bit more without having to be at that end destination, you know, because everything is a journey and a process, and we've got to enjoy every single step. So first thing I'm going to say is identify what it means for you, because being your best literally looks so different for everybody. We all have different goals and different lifestyle habits and different routines, and it just looks so different. So it's so important not to get caught up in this world of comparison and feeling like to be your best in your life, you've got to live like somebody else, or you've got to look like somebody else. That's the first thing, because you've got to identify that your life is yours, which means that your lifestyle, your routine, your habits, your looks, your personality will be so individual to you. And it's kind of identifying what aspects of that, I guess, that you want to improve or work on without having to change your whole life and feeling like you're always feeling like left behind, or that you are never good enough. Because obviously if you're trying to be like somebody else or live like somebody else, then you're never going to achieve it, right? Because you're you. And that's exactly what you want. You want to lean into that and identify what it means for you. I just want to remind you to identify what your dream life looks like and what being your best looks like for you and you only, not to try and live up to somebody else's standard or life or goals. That's tip number 1. I forgot what tip number 2 is. Oh yeah. Tip number 2 is not listening to outside noise. Now this is really hard because people's opinions can be really persuasive and nasty, I'm going to say sometimes. And obviously to feel like you're your best self and you're getting to where you want to be, you want positivity, right? You want to feel uplifted, you want to feel confident, you want to feel supported, but not everybody is going to do that. Not everyone is going to understand your life or your goals or just you in general. And it's kind of learning to be okay with that, which again is really, really difficult, but it's so doable. And it's kind of, I would say, do that one thing at a time. So for example, one opinion at a time, rather than trying to like pretend that nothing bothers you. I would say like sit with it, process it, and then move on, because we can all pretend that we've got the energy where like I don't give a fuck, but also we do care about what people think about us, which is fine, but it's how you let it affect you and kind of how you move forward with your life. It's who you are listening to, because the outside noise, there's gonna be these voices that they put you down, they put you in a box, and maybe it comes from jealousy and them kind of wanting to be where you are, or maybe it just comes from them being unhappy in their life, because I feel like people only give negative opinions, especially like in this world on social media. People give negative opinions just because they're negative people, and that's okay. You just kind of got to let them get on with it. Take a deep breath and move on with your day. But yeah, I definitely think not listening to the outside noise and letting it influence you on where you want to go. Obviously, the people that matter to you in your life, like your close circle, if they are concerned about something or they kind of are talking something through with you or giving their opinion, then I would always say listen to that, because the people that know you best sometimes know you better than yourself, and it's really important to kind of listen to what they have to say. You don't have to necessarily take it on board if you don't agree with it or doesn't feel right, but yeah, listening to what they have to say, I would say is fairly important when you're trying to grow, because you want to grow with them, not away from them. Unless you want to grow away from them, then don't listen to them, babe. Tip number 3 is set out your boundaries, and that has to be with yourself as well. And I guess boundaries, I also mean discipline, because discipline has quite a negative connotation, I can't lie. I feel like I work in the fitness industry as well, so discipline definitely can have a negative connotation, but also discipline can be deemed as quite obsessive, and I think there is definitely different levels of it. But just like in general, I want to encourage you to set your boundaries with people in your life that don't respect you or that are kind of not good for you, but also setting your boundaries with yourself, which means setting yourself a routine that you can actually stick to and saying no to things that you don't want to do. And also say it's like a movement related thing, so you need to get to the gym but you don't want to. It's kind of setting that boundary with yourself. It's like, I said I would do this, so I'm going to do this. And that's where I'd say, like, use gentle discipline. It doesn't have to be really aggressive, like I have to do this otherwise I'm a piece of shit. Like, it doesn't have to be so aggressive. It can just be like for building self-respect, because I'm a massive believer that you build a lot of self-worth and self-respect when you follow through with the things that you said you were going to do. And again, that all comes down to being your best version, because again, whatever that looks like for you, whether that's maybe you would feel at your best when you have trained 3 or 4 times a week, in whatever way that is, moving your body. So holding yourself accountable for that and setting the boundaries when people are trying to persuade you to go out or to go to the pub, when you actually in your heart want to be moving your body and doing something positive for yourself, then yeah, I would say boundaries are really, really important, but make sure you set them with yourself, not just with people around you, because that definitely follows on in your life as well. And like I said, you build a lot of self-respect from doing that. For tip number 4, I would say there's a few ways you can do this, but it's visualize the life that you want. Now you can do this with a vision board, you can do this with having like on your laptop screen or your phone screen, like pictures of the vibe that you want. I would say with that, be careful that you're not just copying somebody else's life, because again, it's got to work for you. But not only physically seeing it, but kind of imagining it, and you kind of then create yourself into this version that you want to be. Because if you're always thinking about the life that you want and the direction you want to go in, then you're way more likely to actually pursue that, because a lot of it's a mental thing as well. So I don't know if you notice, like the more you think about something, the more it becomes real. So that could be positive and negative things, but we all overthink at times. I for sure can be a very chronic overthinker, and it's something I'm definitely trying to work on. But you are literally your thoughts. If all you're thinking about is consuming you, then start there and start by kind of flipping it, making it positive. And it can be literally small things like, are you the type of person that wants to get out for fresh air and sunlight every single morning? That was a big thing for me a while ago, building habits where I get outside and get some daylight within like the first hour of waking up. And every morning I would make sure I get out before breakfast, and I'd work up an appetite because I'd be starving when I get back. But I just kind of got up and I was like, that's the person that I want to be, so I'm going to go and do it. And then before you know it, you're kind of setting those habits. But yeah, it's kind of visualizing the life that you want and who you want to be in a really positive way. Again, making sure you're not kind of putting loads of pressure on yourself to be somebody that you're not and that's not achievable, but you also can have big goals for yourself and just spend every day doing little things to kind of get to where you want to be. Again, I just feel like it's all about building respect for yourself and knowing who you are and that you're deserving of that life. So it's kind of creating this dialogue in your head where you actually follow through and you know where you want to be. And if you don't know where you want to be, that's okay too. You can just have small goals every single day, visualize it. Again, even if you visualize the next month and kind of how you want that to look and whether you want to achieve a certain amount of things in a week or in a day, and yeah, just get visualizing, do it physically, do it mentally, and you'll feel that energy of becoming slowly the person that you want to be and the tiny little daily habits that are implemented into your life. The last thing I actually want to say is to believe in your freaking self. I have said this so many times before, but this is so important to becoming your best version, right? Again, it doesn't need to be anything really, really drastic, but you have to build that self-respect, that self-worth, but you also have to create this narrative in your head that you are deserving and that you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. Because if you don't, I just don't think that you can get there. Like, if you don't see it for yourself or you don't think that you are capable, how are you actually going to follow through with that? Because yeah, for a certain period of time you might, but this is where affirmations come in. And again, it's so cringe, and I've literally spent years talking to the people around me about this, but affirmations are so powerful. I even do it when I'm at the gym and I'm in like a hard set. Like, the gym for me reminds my brain that I can do hard things, because when you're in pain in the gym, like, and you just keep going, it's hard. It's really hard mentally to kind of push through that. But when you realize that you have the power to do that and you actually believe in yourself and you remind yourself that you are capable and you say the same things over and over again, you repeat the same affirmations daily, reminding yourself that you are capable, you are strong, you are beautiful, you are whatever it is that you feel like you need to work on in your life, that is what builds confidence, in my opinion. Because yeah, obviously actioning things and actually following through is great, but we also know that a lot of it comes from the internal dialogue that we have with ourselves. And if you don't build a positive internal dialogue, you're kind of living in like a shell that you're not happy in, even though you're achieving what you want to achieve. Like, again, remember, you've got to be your own best friend, and that means talking to yourself nicely. It means hyping yourself up, like gas yourself up. You've got to be your biggest cheerleader, because otherwise you're just going through life and kind of hoping that you're going to achieve things and whatever. And we're all guilty of this. I am literally so guilty of this. Your brain is such a powerful, powerful thing. So just remember that you believe what you repeatedly tell yourself. So yeah, make sure that you are being nice to yourself and working with yourself to get to where you want to be rather than working against yourself. And they always say you can't hate yourself into a version you love. And I think that's so true. And it's kind of complicated when you think about that. But the reality is you can't spend every day hating yourself and then hoping that when you get to that destination or that outcome or that goal and you achieve it, that you're going to love yourself or love your life. Because if you hated the process or you hated yourself in the process, why would it change when you get to the destination? That's what I want you to ask yourself. But yeah, they are my 5 tips for becoming your best self, no matter what point you're at in your life. Just remember that it's all about those daily habits, the way you speak to yourself. And trust me, you start believing yourself and being nice to yourself and just see where that gets you, because I think you'll be surprised. But yeah, I did want this to be a fairly quick video just because I didn't want to talk at you for so long. I'm very good at just talking for England, but please let me know if you found any of these tips helpful, if you live by them or if you're going to start living by them. And just remember that being your best self isn't about just achieving that goal or that destination or that dream life. It's about being happy every single day, feeling fulfilled in what you're doing and believing in yourself and having confidence. So yeah, just remember that when you're going about your daily life, because it's so easy to compare to other people's lives or to just feel generally disheartened that you're not where you want to be. But we will always strive for more. So just make sure that you're romanticizing the hell out of life, because honestly, romanticizing is just the best thing in life and it just makes you feel so much more fulfilled, I personally find. Maybe that should have been one of my tips, but there you go, that's an extra one. Number 6 is to romanticize the shit out of your life. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I sound like an old school YouTuber, but I'd really, really appreciate it. And also subscribe if you want to stick around, you want to see more videos like this, and we can grow together. And maybe leave a goal down in the comments, just whether it's a small goal or a big goal that you're going to try and do just throughout the next month to improve the quality of your life and to become the best version of yourself. But yeah, that is it from me. Thanks for joining me in my living room, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye!